Morning, everybody. Yep, for some of you, good afternoon. Will, good to have you here. Hopefully you enjoy the content of the live stream. I don't know how new you're talking about, but if you're completely new to this style of trading, there's a playlist on my channel called Watch from the Beginning or Watch in Order for Effective Learning, whichever. I think it's Watch in Order. If you're completely new to this style of trading, make sure to check out that playlist. It'll help you better understand these live streams. All right, we're looking to get started here. A couple seconds. Make sure I got everything all set up here. All right. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Good evening to some, I'm sure. This is not financial advice. The information on this channel is provided for education, informational purposes only, without any express or implied warranty of any kind, including warranties of accuracy, completeness, or fitness for any particular purpose. Please read through this. I'm not a financial advisor. These streams, everything on my channel, everything I say, type, all that stuff. This is all just for education purposes only. Good. We can get that out of the way. I hope you all are doing well. Going to get right into it this morning. And again, these streams are more relaxed. These are going to be very, I have to trade, so I'm going to do my best to inject educational pieces in there in the downtime when I'm not actually actively taking trades. But when I'm in a trade, I'll try to walk my way through it verbally, talk to you all about it, why I entered where I did. Leading up to the trade, I try to talk about, why I'm looking at that pair specifically and all these different things. Today, I want to talk first right off the bat. We've got lots of news this morning, 8:30. And then this afternoon at 2 p.m. Eastern time, there is the FOMC minutes. So the New York session might be a little bit wacky. All right. Usually on FOMC days, I'm going to size down very, 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 very significantly. I'm going to go as small as I possibly can if I even take a trade because of FOMC. Sometimes the New York session, or a lot of times the New York session, the move will look good. It'll look almost perfect, and then it'll go right back into consolidation, and it won't expand a lot of times. So hopefully we could find a good trading setup this morning, but if we do not, we're going to look at maybe some case studies about price and things like that. Just happy to be here. And is everybody able to hear me okay? Everybody throw a Y up there if you can hear me. All right, good. Someone was asking if there is sound. I just want to make sure that everybody can hear me okay. All right. We're going to start on gold. So I'm going to start out on the 1 hour chart as always. And we've been going up for multiple days. 3 days breakouts. Peak formation low from Friday. Level 1, level 2, level 3. And what appears to be a peak formation high now at the high of the current week. Does that mean they can't go higher? Absolutely not. It means that they absolutely could go higher. But that is a larger M. They broke down. We've worked back up into it. Cool. So I've got 3 days breakouts. I need to look for a sell high opportunity. If it presents in the session, let's go down to 5-minute chart, 15-minute chart. We can frame our day. You can see back over here, this actually kind of started from late New York yesterday. There was a larger peak formation that was put in place, and they've came up once, twice, 3 times, and then we get a peak formation high at the high of the current day today. This peak formation low was the continuation. This was a peak formation low, level 1, level 2, level 2, peak formation to continue to level 3. All right. So peak formation low, peak formation high on the day itself. And you can see I've got the W marked off here and the M marked off up here. And we have been working down into that, whatever. We're in consolidation. So do I think that I'm going to look for a trade on this? I don't really know. But what I do know is this W down here has been getting worked. So if I'm looking for a sell high and it goes vertical, that could be one thing. The other thing is we do have some space to get back down to where that pump began. This is the W, level 1, level 2, level 3. That's where the pump began. There's the pin. Previous day's low could be my level. We've got some space to get down there. So that's kind of what I'm thinking about, what I'm looking at. And both sides of the trade, right? So we're in consolidation. I understand that they could go back up, peak formation high. Maybe this is 1, maybe this is 2, maybe this is 3. Back down, and then vertical move. So I'm not married to one side or the other. However, based off of 3 days of breakouts and coming off of peak formation high at the high of the day, I'm going to look for a sell high opportunity for the continuation down. And because of the 3 days breakouts, all that stuff. So that's gold. Let's go to oil. And I think that oil, I'm a little bit more interested. Looking at the weekly template, opening range Monday. There was a peak formation low on Monday, peak formation high on Tuesday. You can see the W, you can see the M. Now we've worked back down towards that M at the low of the current week. This was day 1, 3-day cycle. If you take a look where they've came kind of this rotating sort of manner here, they pulled back up into the current week. So day 1, they pulled back up into Friday's range. Day 2 turning into an inside day. And then now today, day 3 of the cycle. Let's frame the day. I already know where my peak formations are on the higher time frame, but what about now down here on the 5-minute? Well, you can see down here at the low of the day today, currently, peak formation low. This is like a micro inverse head and shoulders. There's the left shoulder, there's the head, there's the right shoulder, and then we go up into consolidation. Level 1, level 2, 3 peaks, spike the low, peak formation to continue. So level 1, level 2, and then maybe now up into level 3. I also had my end of day consolidation. Remember, one of the hardest things to understand is when to pull toolbox tools out. And someone asked me, are we still using end of day consolidation? Yeah, absolutely. I don't use it on every single day on every single pair. When I do my live streams, when I show you all things, I show every single day, throwing that end of day consolidation up there. But there's only certain times when I like to pull it out of my my toolbox to actually use it. And I think this is definitely a very good time because the way that the structure of the market is moving, this is a really good time to throw up that end of day consolidation. So maybe level 1, level 2, level 3, high of day. We're at the high of the day. Now, what is the other side of this trade? What if this turned into a dump consolidation for a pump? We've got a lot of space to get back up there. Okay, so that would be like the scenario for the long. Do I really want to look for the long? Not really. The way that the day is kind of shaped right now, I think that looking for high of day level 3 sell might be better. So that's personally what I'm going to look for. Now, I don't know if that's going to happen, but we'll see. We also have space. We have not triggered previous day's levels. They kind of came down here, went into consolidation without taking out the low. So I've got all my Lamborghinis down here and a magnet, some money signs to remind myself. All right, that's oil. Let's go down to the indexes. US 30. Starting the 1 hour time frame, big peak formation low at the low of the current week. Failed breakout on a Tuesday. Probability of reaching the other side of the range increases significantly. Thinking about the tips and tricks slide for my my weekly templates videos. So this is a failed breakout of the opening range. We've gone back into consolidation on the day itself, and I've got the universal idea for space up here. I've drawn this line with a little vertical line. That reminds myself, hey, we've got space to get back up previous week's or previous day's high from Monday. Also the high of the current week, right? So we might see this go vertical through that. It's a bit early in the day. I don't really care to see this going vertical this early in the day. But peak formation low, level 1. And now we're getting that rise up through level 2. And then if we trigger the high of the current week, you know, my ideas might change depending on the timings of when certain things take place. We get up into level 3 consolidation at the high of the day after triggering Monday's high. My thesis might change a bit about what could happen. What could happen, and you know the type of setup that I'm looking for. So that is US 30. The CAD. I think the CAD was interesting, but a lot of the currency pairs today, I'm not using volume indicator or anything like that, but just looking at, you know, the 1 hour chart's fine. You go down to the 15, you can see that it's a little bit more choppy. I've identified peak formation low, peak formation high from Tuesday. They spiked down, they spiked up. You can see the W, you can see the immediate reaction, the M. Came off that peak formation high, and we've gone kind of back into this rolling consolidation as we're going down. And we've got a M at the high of the day that's came down once and twice, and now we're into 3. And that's kind of really all I had on this. The volume on this seems a little lackluster, not really the best. So really not something that I'm particularly jumping out of my seat for. I thought it was interesting at first, but you know, we had this inside day. They triggered the low. This could turn into a range expansion, basically, of Monday's high-low. And I do have where that pump began down there to see, you know, if maybe this is going to turn into that peak formation high, peak formation low, a channel. You know, we might see this go vertical. Who knows? Let's see. We can throw our range expansion up of Monday's high-low, and you can see 2 full expansions would put us pretty much down exactly where I said that pump kind of began. So that kind of makes sense. I'm going to keep that one in the back of my brain. Okay, NASDAQ. NASDAQ is displaying itself a little bit different than US 30, and I actually kind of feel like I like it a bit more in the sense that we've got peak formation high on the day. This is a 15-minute chart. Peak formation low at the low of the day that has gone into what appears to be this little channel here and is now going vertical back up through the high. So I'm going to come down. I'm going to frame my day. Peak formation high that's dropped down. Peak formation low. You can see the channel now on that 5-minute chart. Ascending the close of down close candles. Trapping shorts. And then now going vertical back up towards the high. This is a pair that I wouldn't mind watching. Just to see how it continues to develop. So I'm going to be watching this. All of these pairs down here, I took a look at them today, and I wasn't really impressed. And you can see that the way that they're wicking back and forth, a lot of these are on the inside. They haven't triggered previous day's high or low. Yeah, I'm just going to wait, see if something better presents later in the week. Anyways, how you all doing out there? Hopefully you're having a good day. Let's see, we've got a little over 100 here, which is good. Let's get into the 4-window sort of view. And I'm going to use indexes today. Like I said, I'm liking the NASDAQ. I don't know what it's going to set up for just yet, but I'm going to wait for a pattern to continue to develop and see if one of the setups shows up. Gold definitely needs to be on my list. Oil definitely needs to be on my list. And then for a currency pair, like I said, I think I'm going to keep the CAD in the back of my brain. I wouldn't mind watching this. What is with the Ys? Baza, what do you mean the Ys? Oh, the Ys. Sorry, yeah, I see what you mean. That was for the for sound. I was just checking sound. Yep, I was making sure everybody could hear me, Baza. Let's see. Got to buy at the low of London. Keaton, on which pair? I feel like you're probably talking about the NASDAQ, maybe? Yep, there's hey, so everybody just tuning in, maybe you missed what I was saying earlier. No big deal. Happy to repeat myself. We got a lot of news on the calendar today. I'm going to be looking at 8:30, maybe seeing if I could take a first bounce trade. And then there's a lot of news littered today. The Fed is today. So on Fed days, FOMC days, I don't care if it's the minutes or whatever, it's FOMC. That man's going to talk. I'm going to play it extremely cautious because a lot of times the moves will start to look really good. The setup starts to present. It looks really clean. Every piece of the criteria is there, and then the range just will not expand because they're holding it for the minutes or the FOMC. So I'm going to play it cautious today. That's my overview of the news for today, anyways. Let's see. You want to take a look at the dollar yen? Again, this is inside. It's still on the inside, which is fine. Peak formation low, 1, 2, maybe 3 to the high. It just doesn't look like there's any volume there at all, in my opinion. I know that it probably doesn't really matter to a lot of people, but to me, when I pull up a pair and it just looks like it's chopping back and forth, like it's moving, but it's still an accumulation, especially on an FOMC day, that makes me a little bit nervous. So I'm just going to avoid that like the plague. And we're going to go back here. Let's see here. We got about 123 in here. I think at about 150, 160, I'm going to make an announcement to everyone. If we get up to around 150, 160 today in the stream, I'll make a little announcement. Very excited to tell you all something. Yeah, TR, I pay like $3 a month extra for the live feed. And then I've got the whatever, I can't even remember what the service is, which premium plan it is to have the 4 screens. How do I feel after last Friday's swim? Feel really good. I tell you that it's truly a life-changing experience. Even before the swim, I'd already given my life to Christ, and I've always claimed to be a Christian throughout my life, but I wasn't acting like it. I was claiming to be a Christian and still using profanity and all these other things, and I gave all that up. And the moment I started to really allow him to make changes in my life, and I started to see those changes, and I truly gave my life to Christ, that's when I felt like I was ready to be baptized, and I did, and it's been amazing. Anyways, but thank you for asking. It's truly a wonderful experience. So NASDAQ, like I said, we're still just waiting for 8:30, so we got about 10 minutes to chat. See, we got about 1:30 in here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I've got a pretty great announcement to make. I told you all that I was going to be doing a funded account challenge, and I was still doing Forex, and a while back I was looking at using FTMO, and then as soon as I was about to start the FTMO challenge, they stopped accepting U.S. clients. So then I was going to go to Blue Guardian, and then Blue Guardian stopped accepting U.S. clients. So then I was looking at Top Step to do a funded challenge with them, and I wanted to make sure that I wasn't going to lose that as well, as far as the U.S. clients go. And I switched over to futures, and I started practicing with futures, and started doing well with futures. And I'm really glad to have made that change, made that shift over to futures. And I decided to take the plunge, I think sometime last week or so. And I've been working on that account. I took four trades on the account. And yesterday, some of you saw me say that I took a trade on gold. I traded gold short. Maybe it was NASDAQ. I took NASDAQ short. One of those two. I took both of them short, but on one of them, I closed almost immediately after the move began. And I told you all it was for a really good reason. And it's because I was on that funded account challenge, and that's all I needed to pass. So there's no reason to sit there and hold the trade. So I did pass that challenge, and I just got the 50,000 initially, and I'm going to. I really just wanted the certificate, if I'm being completely honest. But I think that if I can scale this and go from 50 to 150, and then continue to do that. That'll grow the business very quickly, and I think that'll be really good. So there's that. That's my announcement. I know it's nothing crazy. To some people, it's just a piece of paper, but to me, I posted this yesterday on YouTube in the community section. But getting that piece of paper to me just really symbolizes the hundreds and hundreds of hours of chart work and failure and success as well that it took to get there. So really kind of just proud of myself, I guess, for doing that. When you're trading is such a lonely profession, and to go from the military where you get certificates and you get all these things, you get congratulated and all these things, in trading, you really don't get that. And to, kind of get that, hey, congratulations kind of piece of paper within this profession, I guess it meant a lot to me. So I just wanted to share that with you all. It's really good. I appreciate that, everyone. EuroCAD. All right, that's one I don't usually look at, but that's all right. Let's take a look. We'll get up the EuroCAD here. Start out on the 1 hour. Okay, we got 3 days of breakouts. They've triggered previous day's low. Peak formation was made at the high of the current week and came back down. Is that a first red day? Okay, so this was a peak formation at the high of the week and a first red day. There was trades in Asia. There was trades in London short. Let's frame this. All right, peak formation low at the low of the day with one level of rise. Let's see. Yeah, I would say this is one level of rise. Ideally, you would want to see two more back to the high, or just back to the high of the day in general. But overall, just up high. I don't know if that's how you viewed it as well. No, okay. I've been trading my own money this whole time, but um, I'm also gonna do. I'm gonna do both prop firms and my own account as well. Okay, let's get back over to. I think that was gold, right? Yep. All right, we can get this. And I can shift this back over, and you all should be able to see the names of the pairs and things up there. And if you can't, please let me know, and I'll try to adjust the screen a bit. Appreciate that, CMF. Good to see you in the stream too. I don't think I've talked to you in a while. It's good to hear from you. Are you going to link for the funding account? What do you mean? Well, can you only trade futures with Top Step? I believe so. They are a funded a futures funding platform. Uh, and I'm not affiliated with them in any way, by the way. I don't want to. I'm not pushing Top Step. That's just the one that I happen to choose. I'm sure there's other great ones out there. Very nice, Kent. Are you going to sign up? Oh, I already passed. That's what I was making an announcement that I passed yesterday. Okay, we got 3 minutes to the news. So I'm going to stare at my charts for a minute. Try to focus more on this. In fact, I need to get my other. How long did it take you? I started it last week, and I passed over the course of 4 trades. David. And honestly, so here's the thing with Top Step, that one of the rules that is there in place, like I had to try and be smart about it, because you can't get more than 50% of your overall funding balance in one day. And there was one trade that I was about to get more than 50%, and I just had to close because I didn't want to do that. And then the next 2 trades were a little bit smaller, and then the last trade that I took yesterday was pretty big. So like it was 2 really big trades, and then 1 or 2 that were like smaller, just to get me over the 50%. All right. Let's see. On my other screen, I've got the Nasdaq up there, but I think I might have to make a shift. I'm gonna go down to the 1-minute chart on my other screen here, and be watching. Oh, I'm on the wrong thing. What am I doing? And I promise you, well, I'm not gonna promise, but you can. With this style of trading, like, so what I was doing is, I mean, it's the same way that I've been showing you how I manage risk. Like, nothing changed when I went over to the funded account. I didn't do anything different. I think if anything, I was a bit more quick to close a loser. You know, if I saw that, hey, this is not going my way, I would just close and reposition. Oh, Lord. NASDAQ. Okay. Alrighty then. All right, so they've pinned up. Now they've pinned down. Gold might be about to fill that space. I'm going to shut my mouth about all this other extra stuff here for a second. Okay, gold just filled that space. The Lamborghinis, they're being returned to the dealership as we speak. Let's see. The CAD, there's those 3 levels down. Peak formation low, peak formation high. 1, 2, 3 to the low. Now we have an explosive move. Beautiful. What about oil? Okay, oil, really no reaction. We're in level 3. Peak formation high, maybe forming. I'm down on the one. In fact, let me get you all the 1-minute charts here, and that way I can monitor all 4 at the same time. Okay, oil spiking down. So for a first bounce trade, what I'm looking for is between 7 and 14 minutes after the news. I'm looking for some sort of very small, insignificant pullback that gives me a new M or W and then continues to run in a direction. And if it just goes straight down, I can't do anything with that, or straight up, I can't do anything with that. It's going to force me to wait. Will I trade after 9:30? Yes. I'm going to continue trading all this entire session, but I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to play it very cautious, very careful, size down, low expectations, only trading the best setups that I possibly can. But, you know, coming into the trades, understanding that a lot of times these moves are not going to expand the way that I expect. And this whole session might turn into just a massive whipsaw. And I don't want to be a part of a whipsaw. That kind of hurts the soul. Okay, I'm short on oil. I'm not short on oil. It just spiked up into my break even. Boy, that was an aggressive move. 36. We're 5 minutes into a 15-minute bar. If they continue to make the run, I might add back in, but we're almost halfway through a 15-minute bar, and if there's no momentum to the downside, I'm not going to get back into that. I am going to look for a reentry, though. I wasn't expecting that spike back up to the upside. Okay, we're halfway through that 15-minute bar. I want to see them explode or continue to explode. Roll with that momentum. Yep, that's not acceptable. Might be trapping some shorts down there. Let's see here. All right, we're 9 minutes into this 15-minute bar, and they just put in a W down low. Let's see if they turn this into a little head and shoulders, or if this goes vertical down through the low. It's big 3 drive pattern. Drive, drive, drive. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder. Actually, this would be the left shoulder. This would be the head, and then if they put in the right shoulder right now. Not that I would be looking to take that long, but definitely don't want to take it short. Baza, that's 100% true. I mean, it's not about like predicting. It's not a prediction. It's not being smarter than everyone or whatever. It's just the patterns show up over and over and over again. It's very true. Look at that. They hit that level immediately. They hit the stops, right? So now it's kind of void. 'He's a little 1-2-3 back down, perfectly flush with his other low. Now they put in a little pin hammer there. Five-minute bar's got 53 seconds till close. 50 seconds till close. If this continues to go vertical down, 'tis good. If this reverses in the next 40 seconds, 'tis bad. Yep, there he goes. On the NASDAQ, I'm not going to say that I've abandoned this, but I'm more focused on oil right now. Yep, there is inventories today as well at 10:30. Today might turn into a very choppy session with all this news and all the nonsense. Okay, they put in this little itty bitty W down here, which could be a part of a larger W. But if this W fails and it goes vertical, that would be better. Maybe this is like a little breakout, fake out candle. But what I don't want to see is them work the bottom of this W and then do kind of like that. I want to see them instantly punish anybody that went long here. Or else there's no momentum at all, which honestly a lot of things don't look like there's, it's just whipsaw. Probably because of the news. Which tells me to just be patient. No. Seems like, if anything, there's a bunch of news reversals setting up instead. Not to say that they will, but we're going to see here soon. Got some spiking candles back up into here. 1, 2. Left shoulder, maybe the head, right shoulder. So this would be the quote unquote resistance for them to not go any lower. And you can see kind of what I'm talking about. So they brought this down. There's that left shoulder and the head. And if there's resistance along through this area where they're not allowing it to go back down, that's problematic if you're trying to take a short. Because these guys are trapped down here. If I shorted this here, if I shorted this here, or I shorted this here, they're not letting those people out. And also the first bounce trade is supposed to be based off of momentum. And we're over 15 minutes after the news. And I don't know about you, but spiking back up towards the high is not momentum. Yep. And there it goes. So now we've started the whipsaw action. Okay, gold is channeling. We've got strong down close candles. Strongish down close candles. Notice how they just engulfed an M. Strong down close candle, get people to sell. The question should always be, but are they actually going to follow through? Evidence. Where's the evidence? That guy went long. That guy went long. That guy went long. Are we going to let those guys back out? We've just engulfed an M. That's a peak formation. They should not let people out of their longs if that's what's actually going to happen. So those are the things that I'm constantly thinking about. You know, I could take this short, but, you know, with these kind of channels like this could just be a trap move. And if there's no follow through immediately, that's an issue. And this line down here I've got, I think this is previous day's low. Also think about how many people short this candle here, this candle there, that candle there. They just work their way back down into this area without going any lower. They're keeping those shorts from being in profit. One down, two down, three down, down, up, down. Yep, we're about to come into a new hour. The wick on gold's hourly candle is pretty wild. 26 seconds to fill that wick back up. Make it not as big. How far down? From here to here. Is it even worth? That's 80 something pips. Okay. Nice to see oil taking souls. That hurts. Let's see, from current price down to the low, down to here. Okay. So you all know I did short gold. I shorted gold right here. In fact, I think I'm down over 50 pips, so I need to pull some of this off. No, I'm actually not going to pull some of that off. I'm going to let it go. But I am going to go to break even. New hour's opened up. New hour opened up with a large. Oh, that's not really large, but a decent down close candle. All right, they just spiked in my take profit. Okay, so why in the world would I have taken this? Well, spike the low, get everybody to short, 3 levels of rise, peak formation. I mean, that's definitely more than 3 levels, but 150 pips, 3 levels of 50. Peak formation 1, 2, and 3. Peak formation high. Broke down. Started a channel. And then getting in on the little pin hammer and stuff over here. They spike down into my 50 pip target right there. What kind of risk to reward? Well, I don't want to see them exact. So this, what I was talking about, that's what I was kind of leading to, was like, I don't want to see them go back up and allow these people out of their trades. And that's how I set my take or my stop loss. If I get in on a candle and I say, okay, well, they shouldn't go back up above an area because I don't want to see them get let out, that's where I'm going to put my stop. All right, so we got this 1, 2, 3, up, down, up, push 2. I'm going to use push 2 as reference because that's where the trap should be. I don't want to see them let people out of here. So that's how I usually will put my stop. Anybody who's got my the boot camp, if you look at all of the examples that I've got in the study binder and throughout the course, that's how I explained it, is I'm looking above, at push 2 or push 3, putting my stop in that area so that way I don't, because it's based off behavior, right? I'm looking at where people should be caught, the psychology of where people should be caught in order for me to accurately put my stop. Not just doing what all the retail books tell you and just put it at the high. Because if I just put it at the high a lot of times, like think about it like this. If I get in and I have to put it at the high, oh gosh, that's a 50 pip take or a stop loss. I can't do that. So I might have just popped off my trade a little bit early, and unless something presents absolutely perfect, I don't really see myself taking another, at least not before 9:30. Let's see how 9:30 sets up and plays out. I'm going to readjust. Let's go back up to the 15 and the 5 real quick just to get an image of what is happening. NASDAQ, we've got a breakout, fake out candle they're working down into. That's either going to lead to a very strong continuation or a reversal. This could turn into a middle structure for a W at the low of the day. Gold's going nuts. I should have held a little bit longer. No big deal. However, what does Stacey say about, was it 30 to 45 minutes or whatever? I would even say, well, this is a 5-minute chart, and that's a 1, 2, 3 to the high. There's a 1, 2, 3 to the high and a peak formation put in place. Not bad. Yeah, it was like 15 minutes back up, an engulfment, and a move back down. Now, do I think this is going to follow through? No, it's low-hanging fruit, low risk, whatever. But it's still 50 pip trade. I can't complain with that. Sam, it was because of the. Hold on, let me get to a bigger screen. So overall, the larger thesis, we're up high. 3 days of breakouts. All right, so we're up high. That's good enough for me. We're up high. Peak formation high at the high of the current week. A breakout that has failed. "15-minute chart. Peak formation was made at the high of the day. and we've made a run. This could be level 1 consolidation back down. So a part of framing my day. The news confirmed my thesis. This was the previous peak formation. And remember what I was saying about if they go lower, the peak formation could be now void and they might be going lower. They went lower. Okay, so that peak formation is now void. This quote unquote support that we have here is ridiculous. It's nonsense. Doesn't matter. That's why support and resistance, in my humble opinion, does not work. Because look at how much support this is. Oh my gosh, all of that support. Yeah, it's fake. It's all fake. So they run that, got everyone to go short, stopped out a lot of the shorts. I mean, that's a 150 pip move back up. If I shorted down here, I had to hold for 150 pips of pullback. Ow, that hurts. 1 minute chart. Peak formation low. The impulses. Big impulse to the high. Big impulse to the high. Big impulse to the high. And a peak formation high. An M. That was the thought process. And that's okay, Clips. If that's something that you have found success with, I am just, for my own personal opinion and, doing what I do, I don't like support and resistance because, that was a very good support area, supposedly, but, those areas tend to break a lot of times. I entered it on gold right here. Hold on. I feel like you all are shouting at me. And that's okay. Hold on. Where did the thing go? There it is. There you go. Let me make that bigger. You can see the arrows, the executions, entries and exits. Yeah, exactly. There's no point in putting the stop at the high. If there's people trapped up there and that's why they're shifting away, they're not going to go back up, or at least they shouldn't. And that's why I use that system of where I put my stop. And it also keeps my losers much smaller doing it that way. And it allows me to get more size on the trade too. Yes, Marius, I do. During the challenge, I didn't have any slippage, TR, and I That was over the course of 4 trades, so it's not exactly a long-term, not long-term evidence of how good they are. But yeah, I'd be interested to see how the slippage is on the live account as well. I guess we'll see. Slippage is, you try to get in a place, and because of bid and ask and things like that, they'll fill you at a different location than where you initially attempted to enter. Yeah, gold is scooting now. Market only does 3 things: breakout, trend, breakout, reverse, or stay in a trading range. What is it doing right now? I would say that it's in the opposite of a trading range. It appears to be expanding. Peak formation low, level 1, level 2, level 3. We're coming out of level 3. So this has juice. This might have some room to go. Yep, and that's another thing that I talk about pretty frequently, not only in the course, but just in general, everywhere, right? Breakout, fake out candles. These allow me to, or give me more confidence to enter, like add-on positions. I'll add positions on these breakout, fake out candles. But also this tells me, like, in a down move, up close candles, right? So we have up close candles in a down move. We're getting people to go long in a down move. Just kidding. They immediately take it away. That's the kind of behavior that I'm looking for. Which is why I use these as follow-on entries and things like that. $15 contracts. I've never traded with 15 contracts, so I guess we'll see. And even when I go to the larger, the 150, Jay, I don't ever plan to use the full 15. I would just, I think the most I'd probably go is like maybe, 7? 5 to 7. And I would never enter in all of that at once. The way that I enter in, I think before I took that trade, I was actually talking about how I enter in. So I always put my weight at the top. But then as it's falling, I measure and I will enter in for follow-on positions as it is falling in my favor. So I'll put my weight at the top, and then I'll drop the size down either by half or like a third or whatever of the size that I used up here. And I'm adding in as it's falling. And then once it gets to a certain point, like my take profit was originally down here, and then I said, okay, well, it's moving a lot further than I expected. So this was a 50 pip move off that first entry. So I just took the 50 pips. So I moved it up a little bit because I realized that we're moving a lot further than I expected. So I only had one follow-on add-in, but normally what I would do is I would add in, a third add-in, go to break even on these higher positions, and then when it falls away, I'll go to break even on all positions. That's the way I've been doing it. It's been working really well. Yeah, I think I very rarely trail my stop, Jay. Usually I'll watch the trade, and unless it is exploding in like very large 25, 50 pip increments, um which like today on gold I probably should have done that, just trailed the stop down and locked in 50 and then 75 whatever. But in most cases I'll just leave my stop at break even plus a few pips for slippage and for whatever, um, and then let the trade play out. My average time in a trade is only like 5 to 15 minutes, 5 to 7 minutes or so. And that was data over the course of 50 trades. Boy, what a shift. Oil looks very different now. Maybe it's setting up for that 10:30 news. Does US 30 look better? No. Okay. Okay, I'm going to hang out here on the 1 minute for a bit. There's oil inventories today, Rim. So that's kind of what oil's probably waiting for. In fact, let's go back. Does the site picture kind of change a little bit now? Because maybe I just had the levels count wrong. This might be a portion of the peak formation, and this is 1, this is 2. Maybe we're going to come up into 3. Or, completely wrong, and this just goes vertical like we talked about this morning. Like this could turn into a vertical short squeeze back up through into high. But I'm not going to look for that personally. I'm just going to look for 3 levels of rise, high of day sell, if it were to present well. I just need to wait for 9:30, 10 o'clock, 10:30. Does NASDAQ look like stop hunt low rise? Well, let's go back up here. Okay, so we had an inside day on Monday, peak formation low. We're trading down into that peak formation low. Yeah, I really couldn't tell you. Never know with certainty. But we are trading back down into the low of the current week and the low of last week, peak formation low from last week. But as far as like thinking about, is this a good stop hunt low rise template? I genuinely could not tell you. All I know is there's a peak formation high. You can see the little M up there. And we've dropped it back down. Okay, so we've got oil maybe putting in peaks at, is that double zeros? Yeah, double zeros. And you can kind of see this down, up, first candle to the high, excuse me, first candle to the high, impulse, 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 M, engulfment, at double zeros. Not saying this is going to go back down, I'm just reading what I see. Okay, 9:24. We got 6 minutes until the New York Open. What was my black line? Oh, that was what I thought to be level 1 or 2. That's the low of the session down here. The low of the session, they put in a low and a high already in the session. CAD news is at 45. Tis true. Boy, today is littered. Absolutely littered with news. And I've already taken one trade. I think that is going to be a watch and observe. Let's watch and observe and see if see kind of what happens here. We could talk about things as they progress. Peak formation low, peak formation high. In a place where I believe to be in level 3. Double zeros is my level. And I've got too many lines up here on the screen. I don't care about all this stuff. Let's put this right there. I think that's the opening range low right there. Shaky. Let me double check. I don't want to speak nonsense to y'all. No, that's previous day's lows here, and then this is opening range low right here. Oh, NASDAQ into OR, you're asking, like, do you think it's going to go back up and reverse back up into there? I mean, I guess it could. We've got 3 minutes to New York Open, though. Let's see. What is natural gas doing? No, never mind. I take it back. I don't care. It looks terrible. All right, soybean futures. What are they doing? No, never mind. All right, back to what we're looking at. Okay, so oil. Where's everyone caught? If I was going to trade this short, which I'm not right now, I'm waiting patiently. Where would everyone be caught short right now? Just take a look at the candles. Where's the ones that stand out to you the most? There's that one there, and that one there. This one here. So obviously we've got people trading short into the low, down below this level here. So I'm not going to, like I said, I'm not going to take this short, but thinking about it from that perspective, I would be interested to see, do they let these people out of their short? Like, what is going on here? They're playing some games. I'll skip those ads for you all. Mighty quiet out there, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you all are doing well. If you haven't already and you don't mind just hitting that little like button, I do appreciate it. It does help the stream. These past few days trading on YouTube have been amazing. I wasn't sure I was going to like it. I thought maybe it would be distracting or frustrating. But you all have been unbelievably supportive, and I can't thank you enough. Very quickly got over my fear of doing this here on YouTube. So I will be happily doing this more and more in the future. Next week, I'm teaching a webinar, so therefore I cannot do these live streams in the morning on YouTube because I will be doing them with the webinar group instead. But the week after that is also my wedding week, so I don't know if I'll be doing them then either. I might need to take some time to focus on family. And then my honeymoon is actually in May, so that might be a bit strenuous in the beginning of May as well. But as soon as we get past the all the family occurrences and celebration, I will be doing this probably for the rest of the year. Whenever I'm not teaching a webinar throughout the year, I'll be here on YouTube doing these. Thank you very much. The webinar, so we do 3 sessions a day. The morning session is for analysis, and then we go into a live trading session. The morning analysis starts at 7 a.m. Eastern Time. The live trading is for the entirety of the New York session. And then the third session of the day starts at 11:10 a.m. Eastern Time, and those usually will last for 1 to 2 hours. So 12:30, 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time. I've had a lot of people from the UK come and do it. Most of the people that struggle for the times are usually going to be so the latest will end is around 1:30 Eastern Time, New York time. Yeah, well, I've had the beginning of this year has just been an absolute blessing. Between baptism and trading going well and the growth of my YouTube channel and getting married and all these things, 2024 has just been an absolute blessing. So I I don't think I could be any more grateful or thankful than I am now. Boy, oil is really just doing some work, isn't it? Okay, 9:30. We have the New York Open. We are open now. Let's take a look. Where's that 9:30 candle at? What type of manipulation is going to take place now that the market is open? So I always like to mark off that 9:30 candle because it helps to tell the story of what they are trying to accomplish. And by they, I just mean the market in general. What sort of behavior are they trying to induce leading up into 9:30? Where are people caught? A very lackluster 9:30 opening. Really no response at all. TR, if you want to attend, I've got plenty of space. Just message me on Discord and we'll work it out. Work out the details. It's definitely going to be a very small class next week, which is totally fine. You know, I almost kind of prefer the smaller class because I can focus more on each person, which is nice. With 10 people in there, it's still very easy to focus on each individual student, but when I get down into those like 3 to 5 students per class, I just feel like the interaction and the ability to really focus on each individual student is much better. So either way, but this is a bit of a smaller class this week. Oh, you're going through the boot camp? All right, yeah. So with the boot camp, I've actually posted an entire week of webinar on there. So if you make it through the entire boot camp, at the end, make sure you watch all those videos because they're going to really hammer home everything that you'd already learned. Those videos are like the nail in the coffin, if you will, the final understanding. Man, everything is just pitter-pattering sideways, isn't it? Jason, good stuff. Yeah, I don't want to sound... The way that I try to set up that course, that webinar, was or not the webinar, but the webinar too, is, you know, very basic in the beginning, very beginner. I mean like beginner, not just beginner to the strategy, but just beginner in general. And then try to inject some more advanced topics in the beginning as well so that people have seen the stuff before, and then when they get in the later phases, it's like, oh, I've seen this before. I didn't understand it before, but I've seen it at least. And then as you get towards the end, now you have those webinars to go back and watch to reinforce everything that you've just learned in a more audible, you know, audio visual manner. And then also the study binder there with all the examples to, again, help reinforce and help you all study. I've had people tell me that it was set up really well, so if people started messaging me and telling me it was garbage, then I would have been happy to make changes, but I received pretty much only good feedback from it, so. Shaky, good to hear from you, as always. think oil is playing out kind of how we expected. It's just, it's before the news, and me personally, I've already taken a trade, so I'm not really itching to jump into something that I wasn't sure about. But for anybody who might be new in here, the thesis on oil was that we had 3 levels of rise coming off the low of the day, and they had left space down here with a little magnet, that they might want to come back down and grab. Whether or not that's going to happen or it's going to play all the way through, I have no idea, but certainly seems to be moving in that direction, aiming for it. Okay, so also within the session, right? So we had peak formation low, market put in a low, they put in a high, they've gone lower. So that peak formation at the low of the session is void. And although I'm not going to take another trade, I can at least walk through the thought process on each one as we're looking. Okay, 930's open. Push, push, push. Starting to channel a little bit. Ascending close of down close candles. Trapping shorts. Dragging them higher. Not to say that's a good long trade, but let's just say that I was looking for a short trade on this. That's some information that I would want to understand or know about. Is it always void if it goes lower? Yes, unless it puts in a new peak formation. So if, like, for example, if they were to go lower than this, go back into consolidation, 5-minute chart puts in a middle structure. But usually I'm going to do that on days where I'm looking for a buy low opportunity. There is a peak formation made earlier in the day that I could drag this level across. Right, because that puts us back down in level 1. Peak formation low of day, level 1, level 2, level 3. We're back down into level 1, working down into the low or the top of this peak formation from earlier in the day. They've gone lower than this peak formation, which is really good. But if I was in this trade, I would want to see them collapse through based off that information. Luke, I was already trading profitably when he released his playbook. It is being a bit stingy, isn't it? I'd like to call that it's a bit of pitter patter. Oil's back down there at yesterday's close. Oil's 5-minute chart, though, seems to be putting in a peak formation high right now. If this 5-minute... Oh, that's a 15-minute chart. Excuse me. Actually, it's a 1-hour chart. They already put in a peak formation high on the 5. So they put in a low of day. They put in a high of day. They're trading back down towards the low of day. Which, I mean, that's what we were looking for at the beginning of the day. Okay, so we're after 9:30. The only other thing that I would want to wait for is maybe oil. You know, the news. There might be a trade on oil for the news, but I took my gold trade earlier. In fact, do I still have the picture of it? Oh, I closed the little snipping tool. I'll go back to gold here. I'll put it up there. Let's go settings and executions and then snipping tool and a little picture here. All right. So this was the trade from gold earlier. 3 levels of rise after the news. Peak formation high for the drop. With the Fed today, I was talking about it earlier in the stream. Some people might be coming in a bit late, so I'll re-explain. With the Fed being today's Wednesday, which is great, but the Fed being this afternoon and this day being littered with news, learning how to navigate the news is strenuous and a little bit rough. So the best thing you could do is, if you don't know how to navigate the news, just study, or for like me personally, either just study, size down, or only look for absolute best trades at certain times of the day, which the gold trade was pretty good. I got it early in the session, over and done with, instead of trying to navigate all this late morning session into the afternoon before the news kind of stuff. I'm going to watch for another 15 minutes here. Yep, there's the CAD news. Yep, really no change, right? And then there's oil inventories at 10:30, which might also give the CAD a reaction, but you know, for oil, it might give oil the reaction as well. But I like I said, I'm gonna watch for another 15 minutes, but I'm not gonna sit here and try and walk through the maze, if you will, the maze of news. Okay, NASDAQ just engulfed 9:30 to the downside. That's a lot of time going back up. It's almost a whole hour of rise and a bunch of pitter patter on the way up. Please go long, please go long, please go long, please go long. Just kidding. 9:30's engulfed. Where's everyone stops? On the flip side of that, you know, if this is the trap, we're going to know almost instantly because they've just engulfed a peak formation high. If this is a fake out, they're going to come down. They're going to go immediately back into consolidation, go sideways, put in a W, and go up and start making new highs. So if this is a trap, we're going to know almost instantly. Hey, so for numbers on oil, West Texas oil, Awanda charts, and just put up the number box, and it'll be accurate. The numbered box on Awanda charts works well on oil. And you can see I'll put it down here. That's 75. There's zeros. So like I do all my analysis on the screens that you all are seeing here. And then obviously the futures markets are a bit different. So the values don't line up. So I do my analysis on these charts, and then I'll just take trades based off of what these charts are doing, the numbered levels and things on my other platform. Look at Thursday, Friday last week, and then look at Monday, Tuesday. Baza, what are you referencing? Wednesday, Thursday? Yep. Yep, pretty much. They can only consolidate the market and confuse people in so many different ways. And once you kind of grasp the different ways that they consolidate and move, that's why I keep showing you all this. Where did it go? Like, it seems kind of silly, but I keep showing you all this because I think this is a really good representation of not only what to look for, but how the market moves around. What this right here can tell you or teach you a lot about how the market moves, how it consolidates, the goals, consolidation, spike the high, spike the low, rise, spike the high, spike the low. To rise this day right here, there was another push up to go up into level 3. You start trying to counter trend level 2, and you're like, oh gosh, what's happened? They spike the high, they spike the low, go back into consolidation. There's the short squeeze. And then, I understand that this has absolutely nothing to do with war, but it has everything to do with psychology. And I keep pulling this up as a reference as well, because I think it's very interesting when you start comparing, all these different things, fog of war, realm of uncertainty, creating a scenario, consistently creating scenarios that become confusing, creating stress, forcing people into beliefs of what could happen, and then shifting away from those people's beliefs and creating a cloud of uncertainty. I think it's unbelievably interesting, but that's exactly what they do, or the market does consistently, is create uncertainty about direction. And they do that by that other slide that I just showed you about creating consolidations and spiking up, getting people to go long, spiking the low, forcing those people to believe, oh gosh, which direction are we going to go? consolidating a bit more, and then shifting. And once you kind of grasp that and you understand where people are caught and what should happen based off of where people are caught, and then you find a trade setup and you say, okay, I'm going to take this. Let's say that I was in this move. Let's say that I shorted this candle. And now I don't mean to blow smoke, but exactly what I was saying. Okay, they just engulfed 930. That means that people should be trapped up top. 1, 2, 3 to the high. I've got people caught up here. They shouldn't be letting these people out. Okay, so if this move is real, it should go vertical. Or at least go into consolidation and then go vertical. We're not going to let these people out. Whoa, okay, now we've got a W that is engulfed to the upside. And they started letting these people out. Why am I putting my stop up here? Just letting them to come take my money for no reason? No. I'm going to get out as soon as I can. And that's what I'm trying to emphasize. Is like, if you understand how consolidations work and the goal of the market, they've spiked the high, they've spiked the low. Oh gosh, uncertainty. It's going to go up. Oh gosh, it's going to go down. Consolidate. Now, who knows? It could go vertical. Whatever. It just provides a lot of perspective, I think. Yep, it's turning into an inducement. Either one, so thinking back to scenarios, either one, they've got people shorting early, they need to punish them before they actually shift the market. That could be number one. Number two, they've got people shorting when the market doesn't have any plans of going back to the low, and it's going to go vertical. That's it. And if that thought process lines up with a setup, a trading setup, I'm not just trading solely based off of what I'm saying right now. Of course, I'm looking at the weekly templates like you saw me do in the beginning of the stream, framing my day, finding the peak formations. But when I'm trying to narrow down my trade, trying to figure out, oh man, I bumped my mic. Hopefully I haven't lost y'all. When I'm trying to narrow down my trade, when to get in, that's what I'm doing. I'm looking at the behavior of where people are caught. What level am I at? If there's a numbered box level here, which I'm sure there is, we're at 18,000 flat. And if they start to confirm my thesis, good stuff. Okay, good. Yeah, this mic is finicky all of a sudden. I don't know why. Whenever I bump it, I go into robot mode or I lose you all altogether. Oil has spiked the low, consolidate. Spike the high. Where are people caught? Well, let's look at the candles. Okay, so, they broke this low, which means that somebody shorted this low. I guarantee it. Somebody out there in the world said, okay, that's a good low. I'm going to look for the breakout trade. And they shorted that low. So we've got people coming in. They broke out of a consolidation. 1, 2, 3 to the low. We've got people shorting the close of down close candles down in this area. Okay, so they've spiked the low. Now they've spiked the high. What if they start letting these people out? What if it goes vertical? What if I get a little M right here and it goes vertical? Okay, well, now they're letting shorts out. Could be good. Not saying that I'm going to take that trade. I'm just trying to, walk through the thought process of consolidations and things. Always trying to provide better perspective if I can. Peak formation low, spike, spike, spike. It could go vertical. By all means, go straight up. Be free. Fly away. But those thoughts should always be running in my mind. Where are people caught? Why? I'm going to skip those ads for y'all. Okay, oil came up, put in an M. That's a peak formation high. I watch behavior. Now it's a peak formation high on a 1 minute chart. Very insignificant, but still relevant by all means to help me better grasp where people are caught, if the trade setup is actually going to play out. Okay, there's 10 o'clock. Still in consolidation. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I really hope you all have enjoyed this stream. I don't really have too many closing remarks. I hope you all have enjoyed. I hope you learned at least one thing. Maybe just patience, or maybe just something about behavior of the market, or hopefully maybe I've helped you better develop a process for yourself. If you have, fantastic. If not, maybe in the next one, right? I'm going to be doing this all week long. And hopefully the news schedule, we get a little bit better throughout the week. You know, we've got the Fed today. Maybe we'll find some setups Thursday, Friday. Maybe the back half of the week will be the more explosive move that we're searching for. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you have a great rest of your day. And I will see you tomorrow, same time, ready to go. Oh, hold on. As I'm speaking, what is oil doing? Is it finally gonna come down and... Oh no. They better call the dealership. Let them know they're not going to be able to afford that new car. Ladies and gentlemen, you have a great rest of your day. God bless. I will see you all tomorrow. Bye-bye.